My wife Kara and I have been married for 4 years. We had an arranged marriage, but we have a good marriage and a strong bond so far. I adore her and would do everything for her in an instant. We decided before we married that we would have our own individual space, that we would not have to tell each other everything unless we felt the other person should absolutely know. For many years, the arrangement worked well. I didn't have much to conceal or reveal, but she did it. When I first met Kara, she was very conservative. She was a very conservative person who was a little too religious. She admitted that she was not always a good person, but she has worked hard to be a good person who lives a moral life. She told me about her past, how she was a wild girl in college, and how she had several relationships and partners. Even after we married, she would tell me about her past, but I never pressed her for more information. She always refers to her college self in the third person, and whenever she discusses her past, she always says her college self is a terrible person. She has become more religious since then, and she is very different from her previous self. I have seen some photos and videos, and Kara is not the same person she used to be. Kara doesn't have many friends and spends most of her time praying or doing religious things. I am the only person with whom she shares her thoughts. Benny, her best friend from college, called her unexpectedly a few months ago. Kara's face lit up after she spoke with Benny. Kara was overjoyed after reconnecting with Benny, and Benny invited her to a party at her house. Benny also called up their other college friends. Kara was torn about attending the party. I persuaded her to go by telling her that the worst that could happen is that she has a boring night. Kara invited me to accompany her. I was thinking about getting some embarrassing and funny stories about my wife from her friends, even while driving. When we arrived at Benny's, I understood why Kara was conflicted. Kara was dressed conservatively with light makeup and minimal jewelry. Her college friends were the polar opposite. They were dressed like teens and went out to party all night. That night began normally with the girls telling funny stories, but the stories quickly became raunchy, then horrifying. I discovered Kara and Benny were the leaders of a gang of mean girls. They slept around, drank, and used drugs, and on occasion ruined people's lives. When the group turned to me and told me stories about my wife, Kara stepped away to use the restroom. Benny mentioned Kara sleeping with a majority of the college's professors, which I was aware of but had no idea the number was so high. Benny purposefully told me about how Kara and Benny gaslighted a woman into believing she was a lesbian and destroyed her marriage because her husband had rejected Kara's advances. And all of these girls found this incident amusing. I needed to get away, but I could not find Kara. I went to the bathroom to find her and found her crying in a corner. I picked her up and left right away. The entire drive back, Kara was sobbing and kept repeating, "I'm sorry." She was distraught for days before delving headfirst into religion. She began praying for 6 to 8 hours every day, where her daily prayers and rituals used to take 2 hours. I hoped that giving her space would allow her to heal and that she would contact me when she was ready. We have not spoken much since. She still cuddles up in bed and says nothing. She told me last week that she has decided to celebrate for the rest of her lives in order to atone for her previous sins. She asked for my help and apologized for surprising me. She has told me that if I can't live a celibate life with her, I should leave her. I tried to persuade her to try therapy, but she is steadfast in her decision. I ruined my otherwise perfect life by forcing her to attend that party. Update. Last night, when we got into bed, I told her, I love you. I will wait for you to be ready for me. I was not sure what I meant at the time. I just needed to talk to her. Her eyes swelled with tears, and I could tell she wanted to war and scream, but could not. She grabbed me and would not let go. I love you, she said. Quietly, we stayed together the rest of the night. I asked her in the morning if she would just talk to a therapist. I assured her that I would try to support her decisions in any case. She agreed and kissed me on the lips. We had not kissed for nearly 2 months. I thought my wife had returned. However, she texted me from the kitchen a few minutes later. My celibacy does not have to be synonymous with yours. You are free to depart. I will not interfere with your physical needs. If you wish to stay, reading that text killed me. We have not spoken to each other since. Then Kara began therapy as a result of the efforts of some members of her religious groups. She will need a lot of time, and I'm not sure if I will ever see my wife again. Everyone says she will get better soon, but I'm not sure if she still be my wife when she does. Even if she does return, I have learned things about her past that make it difficult for us to simply continue our relationship. Some details make me believe Kara does not deserve to be happy. For the time being, I will assist her in her recovery, but I am unsure what will happen after that. In my opinion, she has escaped her past by embracing a new life of religious zeal. But because she has not made spiritual peace with her past, her devotion is not a true atonement. She is attempting to transition from one behavior to another that she believes will be beneficial while avoiding dealing with her self-hatred. Unfortunately, the fact that the girls at the party had not outgrown their laughter about doing terrible things tells me that she is the only one who wants to change, which is terrifying. She requires therapy. Introspection that is guided in a healthy way will not heal without 12 hours of prayer. Most importantly, she is pleading with God to forgive her when she is unable to forgive herself. This is never going to end well. She must come to terms with who she was. The 6 to 8 hours of prayer per day and the use of the third person to refer to herself are not signs of a healthy mind. Aside from the past behaviors, this woman requires serious mental health care, and that goes beyond the scope of a marriage counselor.